Leroy, welcome to Frightfest. You've been here for a couple of days. How are you finding it?
I am absolutely loving it. Feels amazing to be out in the mix of people. There's people about, and it's so cool that this is the UK's first festival, real life festival. I didn't know that until today, so it's really cool to see so many people around and just people getting on with it and going to see film and bringing it together for the love of film, right? So it's awesome.
And have you had much opportunity to catch many films yet?
Yes, I watched a film yesterday called The Changed, which was really quite an interesting film with starring Tony Todd. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got a couple of other ideas. I want to watch a few other films over the weekend if I can squeeze them in. But yeah, that one at the moment is the only one I've seen.
I mean, your film, it's showing in a couple of hours now with the nerves starting to kick in.
No, I'm not really nervous. It's a weird one because I've sat with the movie for such a long time. It feels really nice to finally showcase it to people. The cast haven't seen it, none of the crew have seen it. So literally nobody's seen the film, and this is the first time they're going to see it today. So I'm excited for them to be able to actually see their work come to life on the screen.
I mean, for those that don't know, what is The Last Rite about?
So The Last Rite is, if you think of the old supernatural films from the 80s, films like The Exorcism of Emily Rose, even though that was early 2000s, films like Amityville Horror and The Exorcist. The Last Rite is a film that sort of sits somewhere in there. I stay quite true to sort of my motifs of the films I love from the 80s, films that sort of sit with a bit more of a slower burn story, because I think that a lot of the time we're rushing to get to too many scenarios and stories, so I'm sort of expanding the horizon on that movie for a bit and enjoying the process of showing the story through someone else's perspective,
I mean, it's clear that you're a horror fan. Can people expect any little nods to other films?
Yeah, so I guess the geek side of my nature really loves to sort of see films that are brought to life in other movies. And what I mean by that are little nods to be it we're standing on the shoulders of champions, right? Everybody that's coming up as directors have had other directors that they've either mirrored their work on or looked at work that they inspired by. So for me, a lot of that has sort of come to play itself on The Last Rite. So I have put a few little nuggets in there, peppered through the story, just to be able to sort of, anybody likes certain types of films, they'll recognise some of the little nudges I put in the film.
And I mean, you've used your pandemic time wisely. You're already working on some other projects. Can you share a little bit about them?
Yeah, so during the, obviously, 2020 and into 2021 pandemic, everybody knows about that. I spent a lot of time working on new material, because for me it's not just about doing one film and having that done. It's about having a plan after the plan to be able to make not just one film but a whole slate of movies. So the next film that I've got in mind is a film called Hollow Ones. It's quite a dark film. It's very much if you think of The Strangers sort of film, it's home invasion, it's quite dark. That movie is the one that I'm planning on doing next, and then I've got another one lined up after that potentially. So yeah, just keeping that ball moving,
Well, I wish you the best of luck with the screening and enjoy the rest of your festival.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.